You're about to learn 15 legal strategies that can protect you during a traffic stop. Know your rights, use them smart, and let's get into it. Move number one, stay calm and control your body language. The moment those lights flash behind you, your interaction has already begun. Pull over safely, turn off your engine, roll down your window about halfway, and keep your hands visible on the steering wheel. Officers are trained to watch for nervous behavior, and they interpret fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, or reaching around as suspicious. But here's what most people don't know. Staying calm isn't just about being polite. It's strategic. When you appear nervous, officers develop reasonable suspicion that you're hiding something, which gives them legal justification to extend the stop and investigate further. Your calm demeanor limits their ability to escalate the situation. Move number two, say as little as possible. You have a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, and it applies during traffic stops. When the officer asks, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" That's not a friendly conversation starter. It's an interrogation technique designed to get you to admit to a violation. The correct answer is, "No, officer, I don't." Do not guess, do not offer explanations. Do not say, "Was I speeding?" Because now you've planted that idea, even if that wasn't why they stopped you. If they ask where you're coming from or where you're going, you can politely say, "I'd prefer not to answer questions." You're required to provide your license, registration, and proof of insurance. That's it. Everything else is voluntary. Move number three, understand the scope of the stop. A traffic stop is a limited seizure under the Fourth Amendment. The officer can only investigate the reason for the stop and complete the related paperwork. They cannot extend the stop to fish for other violations unless they develop reasonable suspicion of additional criminal activity. If the officer starts asking unrelated questions like, "Have you been drinking?" or "Do you have anything illegal in the car?" These are attempts to expand the scope. You can ask, "Officer, am I free to go?" This forces them to either let you leave or articulate why they're detaining you further. It creates a clear record that they extended the stop, which your attorney can challenge later. Move number four, never consent to a search. This is critical. If an officer asks, "Mind if I take a look in your vehicle?" your answer should always be, "I do not consent to searches." Say it clearly and calmly. Do not elaborate. Do not explain why. Many people think refusing a search makes them look guilty, but legally, it's the smartest move you can make. Here's why. If the officer has probable cause to search, they don't need your permission. They'll search anyway. But if they're asking, it usually means they don't have probable cause, and they're hoping you'll voluntarily waive your Fourth Amendment rights. Even if you have nothing to hide, consenting eliminates your ability to challenge an illegal search later. Innocent people have been arrested because officers found something they didn't know was there, something a passenger left, or something that was misidentified. Protect yourself by never consenting. Move number five, document everything. If your state allows it, inform the officer that you're recording the interaction. Most states permit you to record police in public, and a traffic stop on a public road qualifies. Say, "Officer, I'm recording this interaction for my records." If they object, calmly explain it's your right. If they insist you can't record, comply to avoid escalation, but note their name and badge number. After the stop, immediately write down everything: the time, location, what was said, what the officer did, whether they searched your car, how long the stop lasted. Memory fades quickly, but these details become crucial if you fight the ticket in court. Your contemporaneous notes are considered more reliable evidence than your recollection months later at trial. Move number six, recognize pretextual stops. Police often use minor traffic violations as a pretext to investigate other crimes. They'll pull you over for a broken taillight, but really, they want to search for drugs. This is legal under current law, but understanding it helps you protect yourself. If you notice the officer seems less interested in writing you a ticket and more interested in looking in your windows, asking repeated questions, or calling for backup, you're likely in a pretextual stop. This is when moves 2 through 5 become even more important. Limit conversation, refuse searches, and ask if you're free to go. Move number 7, Know the difference between reasonable suspicion and probable cause. Reasonable suspicion is a lower standard that allows an officer to briefly detain you and investigate. Probable cause is a higher standard required for arrest or search. During a traffic stop, the officer has reasonable suspicion that you committed a traffic violation. That allows them to pull you over and investigate that specific violation. To search your car without consent, they generally need probable cause to believe there's evidence of a crime in the vehicle. An officer smelling marijuana or seeing drug paraphernalia in plain view can create probable cause. This is why you should never leave anything visible in your car and why you should never answer questions about what's in your vehicle. Move number 8. Handle the license and registration requests strategically. When the officer asks for your documents, tell them what you're doing before you do it. Say, my license is in my wallet in my back pocket. I'm going to reach for it now. Then move slowly. For registration and insurance, say, those are in my glove box. I'm opening it now. This narration serves two purposes. First, it prevents the officer from perceiving a threat, which protects your safety. Second, it demonstrates cooperation, which can be beneficial if the interaction is recorded. Retrieve only what's requested. Don't rummage through your belongings and don't hand the officer anything they didn't ask for. Move number 9. Understand DUI checkpoints. Sobriety checkpoints operate under different rules than regular traffic stops. You still have rights, but they're slightly modified. At a checkpoint, you must stop, but you're not required to answer questions beyond identifying yourself. You can hand the officer your license without rolling down your window more than necessary. You can refuse field sobriety tests and preliminary breath tests in most states without automatic penalties, though refusing the official chemical test at the station often triggers license suspension under implied consent laws. If you haven't been drinking, checkpoints are less risky, but the same rule applies. Say as little as possible and never consent to searches. Move number 10, decline field sobriety tests. If an officer suspects you of impaired driving, they may ask you to perform field sobriety tests. Walking a straight line, standing on one leg, following a pen with your eyes. Here's what your attorney would tell you. Refuse them politely. These tests are subjective, designed for failure, and used to build probable cause for arrest. Even sober people fail them due to nervousness, medical conditions, or poor balance. In most states, refusing field sobriety tests carries no legal penalty. The officer may arrest you anyway if they have other evidence, but you haven't given them additional ammunition. Say, I'd like to speak with an attorney before performing any tests. Move number 11. Understand preliminary breath tests versus chemical tests. There are two types of breath tests, and knowing the difference is crucial. The preliminary breath test, or PBT, is done roadside before arrest. In most states, you can refuse this test without penalty because you haven't been arrested yet. The chemical test is done after arrest at the station or hospital. This test is usually subject to implied consent laws, meaning refusal triggers automatic license suspension and can be used against you in court. Each state's laws differ, so know your state-specific rules, but generally, refusing the roadside PBT is strategically smart, while the post-arrest chemical test carries serious consequences for refusal. Move number 12. Never admit to drinking, even a little. If an officer asks, have you been drinking tonight? The only safe answer is silence. Or, I'd prefer not to answer questions. Do not say, I had one beer, or I had a glass of wine with dinner. Any admission of alcohol consumption gives the officer justification to investigate further and becomes evidence against you. Even if you're completely sober now, admitting to any alcohol consumption allows the prosecutor to argue impairment. The officer isn't trying to help you by asking. They're building a case. Protect yourself by invoking your Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Move number 13. Challenge the stop later, not during. If you believe the traffic stop was illegal or the officer violated your rights, do not argue about it on the roadside. You will not win. Arguing with police escalates situations and can lead to additional charges like resisting arrest or obstruction. The place to challenge an illegal stop is in court with an attorney. Be polite, comply with lawful orders, document everything, and then fight the legal battle where it belongs. Tell your attorney everything that happened. If the stop was illegal, they can file a motion to suppress evidence, which could get your entire case dismissed. But you can only win that battle if you stay calm during the stop and don't give the officer additional reasons to charge you. Move number 14. Ask for an attorney immediately if arrested. If the officer tells you you're under arrest, immediately invoke your rights. Say clearly, I am invoking my right to remain silent, and I want to speak with an attorney. Then stop talking. Do not try to talk your way out of the arrest. Do not answer any more questions. Do not make phone calls where you discuss the case because those calls are recorded. Police can and will continue questioning you even after you're arrested, hoping you'll say something incriminating. Anything you say can be used against you, but nothing you say can really help you at this stage. Your statements won't prevent the arrest or make the charges go away. Only an attorney can help you now, so wait for one. Move number 15. Follow up strategically. After the stop, whether you got a ticket or were arrested, take immediate action. First, write down everything while it's fresh. Second, photograph any relevant evidence, like the location of the stop, your vehicle's condition, or anything the officer claimed was a violation. Third, obtain any available footage from your dash cam, nearby businesses, or traffic cameras. Fourth, consult with a traffic attorney or criminal defense attorney before your court date. Many people just pay tickets without realizing they're pleading guilty to offenses that increase insurance rates, add points to their license, or create a criminal record. An attorney can often negotiate reduced charges, get cases dismissed, or identify violations of your rights that lead to suppression of evidence. Remember, these strategies aren't about being hostile to police. Most officers are doing a difficult job professionally. These moves are about protecting your constitutional rights in a system where you need every advantage. The prosecution will use every legal tool available to build a case against you. You should use every legal protection available to defend yourself. Know your rights, exercise them calmly and respectfully, and always consult with an attorney when facing legal consequences. Your freedom and future are too important to leave to chance.